And we should be live.
Oh, we're live.
Oh, I'm alive.
I'm dead.
It's alive. Hippolyta's so dead.
I'm so hungry.
Yes, look at all the blood.
Well, at least 3 out of 4 are alive.
Yes, very alive and very whimsical takes on Halloween instead of the delightful spookiness that Hippolyta's giving us.
I was waiting for another zombie or like a ghost or something.
See, I was going to be a ghost. However, I didn't want to poke holes in my bedsheet. Also, slightly traumatic from last weekend.
It's very true.
If any of our viewers were able to join Melinoe, Hippolyta, and myself at the Maryland Renaissance Festival last weekend, you may have heard us talking about some ghosts that we encountered there.
Terrifying, truly spooky.
There were patrons who truly just cut holes in bed sheets for the eyes, put the bed sheet on, put on a glittery, bright magenta pink fedora, hot pink glitter, and just went about the festival looking like a very cheap ghost. I'm sorry to use the word, but it's like the classic bad ghost costume. And I see this and I think it's funny, and I go, "Oh, ghosts!" Melinoe, what did you do?
Well, I heard this and I turned around. I jumped and I screamed, but they were literally right here. I turned around and all I saw were 2 ghostly eyes just drilling into my head. It was terrifying. And I think I scared them more than they were trying to scare other people. So
I call that a good ghost costume, no matter how cheap it is.
I know. It's savvy on the wallet.
Effective. Simple and effective.
Plus, I love the hot pink.
They were very, very sparkly hats. I would have liked the sparkly hat, although with tonight's hair, it would just perch atop of it and not really do anything appropriate.
Just in the back.
Yes.
Was there a Halloween weekend at the Maryland Renaissance Fair, or will there be a costume weekend?
I do believe when I themed one, but I think a lot of people were in the mood because this last weekend was the most fall that they had. And Saturday was not very fall; it was very hot. And then we had an insane storm that sort of went like this and blew dust in everyone's faces. And when I was doing my Vixen laundry this week, my white shirt was brown all across the middle. You could see the speckles where it went through the laces holes. I was like, that's disgusting.
I love that.
It was dirt all across my midsection and didn't realize it until I got home. And then on Sunday, it was beautiful, perfect fall weather with lovely,
no humidity.
Oh,
perfect.
And that is what is supposed to happen this weekend as well. I do believe, though, Saturday, you have to buy your tickets in advance online. You cannot purchase them at the gate. Saturday is already sold out, but I think you can still purchase tickets for Sunday.
That's amazing. That's so good. Sounds like
hopefully we will see friends.
How's the foliage down there?
Absolutely
good.
Really?
Yes. It's I really think, I'm hoping this weekend it's even better, because we were starting to get the taste of it last weekend, and you would see leaves falling through the day, but when you would look at the trees,
still green,
still a little green and things like that. But it was pretty magical to just see all the cascading leaves, and constantly we would walk around and there would just be pockets of cinnamon to the air where you would be like, cinnamon. We would yell cinnamon out loud because it was just an arresting cloud of cinnamon that you'd walk into, which is so quintessential autumn.
Mm-hmm. I would live in that cinnamon cloud. Also, we have some chatters who say that Sunday is also sold out. So,
oh my goodness,
exciting! Wow. Yeah.
Hopefully the shows are as well, if you can sell out.
Well, we've had lovely crowds at all of our shows, and I'm very excited to see everyone this weekend as well. We got to see some old friends over the weekend. which was so exciting. People have not seen in person for so long. So I hope that only continues going into this weekend as well.
Yes.
It's muscular this weekend.
Trying to give me a run for my money.
Selene smash. It has no effect at this angle. The illusion is completely shattered.
I love the outside of your elbow.
Outside, if I cross my arms, it's really...
I mean, your pectorals are so impressive.
Do you see that my abdominals have popped out of the top of my...
You have a 16-pack.
Is a 16-pack. Who doesn't eat?
A cleavage pack.
It's all of my band work somehow. And my protein. I came with props.
Oh, fantastic.
Like any good Vixen show. Does someone want to tell our friends in the chat about the show we're doing tonight, though?
Sure.
Yep.
Today, we are doing what we like to call the Quadralogue. It's think of the game telephone, if you remember, as a kid, where you whisper a message to your friend, and then your friend whispers what they think they heard to their friend, and then they whisper what they think they heard to their friend, and then them to their friend, and then all the way down a line until the last person announces what they believe they heard. And it's very fun to see what kind of messages come out. And so in pure Vixen theme, we will be presenting a timely Shakespearean piece, whether it is a soliloquy or a sonnet or any sort of piece of dialogue from Shakespeare's writings. And we will play this game of telephone where three of us, one person will come in with the piece, and two will mute ourselves and leave the stream so we cannot see or hear. We cannot hear anything, and then we will come in one at a time and try and remember the piece that is given to us by who's bringing the first piece? Selene. Selene has the first piece. I'm really excited. I hope that makes sense.
I think figure it out. They're not the ones doing the challenge.
Yes.
Sometimes we get good chunks of the speech will transfer the whole way through, and sometimes it's something completely different.
The key is to rewrite Shakespeare through memory.
It's impressive when... Oh, Melinoe, please.
No, I was just going to make a joke and say what was to be or not to be ends up being... well, I didn't have the end of that joke ready. I was hoping that something would come to me in the moment.
To see or to pretend to not see?
To see or to need glasses?
Yes. To see or call your optometrist. I do appreciate...
We've played the game with monologues. We've also played it with sonnets. At least for me, this round, my selection is from a play nobody reads. So no one should be familiar with it unless you're forced to for class. But I don't even think I've ever seen a production of this ever put on. I'm sure it is done, but we shall see. But I believe, Selene, you're doing something a little bit more known, but that not in a bad way at all. Like it's definitely
there's like a core hook to it that I think basically most English-speaking folks would recognize. They might not even know that this is originally from Shakespeare. I think it's kind of something that has been, like many things in Shakespeare, just taken and reinserted in so many fun places that, I feel confident that the first couplet of this, everyone will have in the bag to some extent, just because of the way that it's kind of diffused itself through modern culture. So, but we'll see. It's an interesting one.
Who wants to be the first the first person to learn the new monologue. Not it.
It.
Alectrona. All right.
I figured going first might be easiest.
Yeah.
Sure. You're
Yeah.
receiving at least like intact text.
The actual thing could be
When
easier.
would you like to go, Melinoe? Do you want to go?
I'll go second. How about that?
All right, then I will be last. So I will wait until I am summoned. I will disappear for a while until Melinoe summons me back. But we're going to go away.
Are you going to feed on something and get some more blood?
Yes, and then I'm going to snuggle my kitty cat because she's taking a nap over there. Why do we have kitties except to annoy them when they're taking naps? I'll be back later.
Oh, okay. Just the two of us.
Oh,
Ready?
So excited. I'm always ready. All right.
Okay, I want to like get into it. I'm gonna do some stretches.
Take your moment before
Let's
some vocal
let's set
warm-up.
the scene. So we are in a spooky forest. And maybe in this spooky forest, one would happen upon 3 weird sisters that people might call witches.
Oh, I wonder where this is from.
I know. It's just this obscure play set in Scotland. So in this Scottish play, we have these 3 sisters up to some witchcraft and conducting a fun spell that's about to unfold over the events of this play when our titular character happens upon them right after this exchange. So without further ado, put on your listening cap.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to jump in. Okay. Oh, you're attuned.
I had to whip my ears out.
Saucers out. Makes a huge difference. Okay. Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake. In the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog. Wool of bat and tongue of dog. Adder's fork and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and owl's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth, boil and bubble.
I should have gone last. But
Big
great.
ingredient list.
Yes, it's just a lot of animals.
A lot of little animal parts going
body
into
parts.
it. So
It sounds delicious.
doesn't it? So I hope there's enough like imagery or even just tapping into, I know this animal's in there, I know that animal's in there. But there
Let's
it
find
is.
out. I'm just going to start naming different body parts and seeing what sticks. All right.
I tried to get hand signals too.
Yes. I may just repeat the hand signals, but not the words. All right. I think we're ready for Melinoe, yes?
Yes.
All right. Melinoe. Okay, great. That worked.
I'm assuming that was the cue.
Well,
all right. Are you ready?
I do, but let's try it.
All right. I will not speak the play. I will let you figure that out. It should be self-explanatory. Double, double, toil and trouble. In the cauldron bubble. Legs of newts. Wings of owls. Frog's feet and chicken thighs makes this tasty shark eyes. That's it.
It was brilliant. I think that was dead letter perfect.
That's it. That's right. It. I can play them. I can play all
that was from Romeo and Juliet, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Really
Well done.
perfect.
Mm-hmm. The Capulets say that.
Okay. I think I was going to say I think I can do that.
Great.
I think I can do that. Let's try it.
We should flail.
Pardon?
Should we flail?
Flail.
I almost don't. I'm enjoying the flailing so much.
I'm glad it worked.
I'm sitting there with my fingers in my ears watching the first set of flailing, and then now the second one. I love it immensely. All right.
Brilliant. Okay, so I think I know the first little bit, so let's try it, shall we? Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. This is where I might get a little off. Him leg of newt and chicken thighs makes for a delicious surprise. Something about a bat. Let's throw in a rat. Stir it all up, and that makes that. So good.
Oh, delightful. Similarly, I know the first part without having to be told it, but then I'm going to go off the rails similarly. Let me see if I can maintain your impeccable rhyming prowess, Melinoe. All right. Double, double, toil and trouble, fire burn and cauldron bubble. Eye of newt. I think there's a newt in it.
Mm-hmm.
And chicken thigh is what you said. And then probably some sort of maybe tails of a rat and the hairs from a cat. Put it in a pot and mix it up hot and drink it down. Let's hit the town.
Ooh,
that's my Friday night.
Mm-hmm. I think you're ready for this weekend.
It's a new take on hair of the dog. It doesn't hair of the cat.
Right? So tell us the whole thing again, Selene, because I know this speech because I've heard it before, but I've never performed that part of the play. So I wouldn't say I have it memorized.
Sure. I mean, it's a very strange recipe. So unless someone on this call is used to making it, I'm glad you don't have it memorized. So here we go. Double, double, toil and trouble. Flawless every time. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Fillet of a fenny snake. No. Fillet of a fenny snake in the cauldron boil and bake. Eye of newt and toe of frog, wool of bat and tongue of dog, adder's fork, like a snake with a little tongue, and blind worm's sting, lizard's leg and owlet's wing, for a charm of powerful trouble, like a hell broth, boil and bubble.
Perfection.
You have to tell you, Alectrona, though, you as this is a very popular play set in Scotland, there are some ingredients that come up later as different witches contribute different things to the pot that you had the foresight to, such as a shark goes in there at one point. There were other things, but I think a cat ends up in there in some capacity, even if not in this selection that we've done. They all end up in the pot at some point or another. And maybe they hit the town after that.
I think so.
I think all that's left is some chicken.
Yes.
Make it a stew. It is fall.
Mm-hmm.
This is making me very hungry. I haven't had dinner yet.
Do you want
to some newt eyes?
I have the recipe for you?
I mean, I would be into the chicken thighs. And, well, I've never had Eye of Newt, but I have had crocodile before, and I've had alligator. And it's chewy. I've had rattlesnake. Also chewy.
All of those are things that have, like, fat to it. And I am a believer that with the right work and cooking expertise, one can fashion something to be edible and work in a soup even, whatever. But it's the wool of the bat where I really start to tap out, because that just, we all know what wool is like, and when wool like ends up, from your scarf in your mouth, and if it's just floating around.
Perhaps it is the fiber that you've been missing from your diet. It's a binding agent. Keep it all together.
That could be the bread bowl. Instead of a bread bowl, that could be
and that way everyone will be ready to eat this.
Mm-hmm. Quite smart, actually.
A woolen bowl to eat soup out of.
Delicious.
Mm-hmm. A woolen bowl.
All eventually like.
Oh, my delicious woolen bowl.
You can just shake it out and wear it afterwards.
Just wring it out.
Lots of chunks. Now with chunks.
Shall we move on to
chunks today? Yes, let's move on, please.
I think if we made this recipe, that is how you got all of those mussels, Selene.
No, I was like planning for this. Yes, and that's how I do it. It's really the wool of the bat, I think. If I just had it in a can and then I drink it and I go from normal Selene to this unbelievable muscle structure that only looks good when I cross my arms, because there's...
And somehow it's a completely different skin tone. Like here.
Yes.
But hey, if I turn it,
so
if I rotate it just so
on the arms, and I bathed in moonlight for a few days.
Fair.
Well,
fair
enough.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
Right.
So I have got my piece is from Henry VI, Part 2. For those following along at home, this is well, actually, what order shall we do this one? Not that I expect anyone to know this and would therefore be able to look it up and cheat.
I can go last because I just had an advantage.
Sure.
But I don't mind.
I can go first if that was just to mix up the order.
I think that's a fair idea.
Wonderful.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, ladies. Boop. Melinoe, come back. Melinoe, come back. Come back to me. I'm all alone now. Well, I'm going to do big hands in the hopes that someone is going to turn their camera back on. Where did Melinoe go?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I can go first. I have no problem with that.
That's very true. Anyway, so those following along at home, just as a brief situation until we figure out where Melinoe went, is that this is Henry VI, Part 2. This is Act 1, Scene 4. This is approximately line 51. And basically, a bunch of fancy people decide they're going to do some rituals, some creepy, ooky, spooky rituals, and summon a spirit in order to ask them questions about who's going to survive this play. And the answer is mostly no one. They're all going to die. So there's some delightful stage directions in this scene as well. So Bolingbroke is the one I'm going to be. There you are, Melinoe.
Are you all right?
I got caught up in the last order. Am I going?
Do you want to go second?
I will go second. Is that cool?
Or first? It's up to you. Your first choice was first.
It's true, but are you in the middle of? I couldn't hear a darn thing. So
I know. I'm explaining the play briefly.
Okay.
But you don't
want it.
I will gladly go first if you want to mix up the order.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
I'll be back.
Off she goes. So I was just telling everyone that this is Henry VI, Part 2, Act 1, Scene 4. The context of this speech is that Bolingbroke is with some other fancy people, and they are preparing to summon a spirit. So this is their preparations for spirit summoning. And honestly, some of these stage directions are also hilarious. And I will just talk about them later. They're not included in the speech part. So here we go. These are the ooky spooky words in order to summon spirits, to ask them questions about, are your enemies going to die? Ahem. Patience, good lady. Wizards know their times. Deep night, dark night, the silent of the night. The time of night when Troy was set on fire. The time when screech owls cry and bandogs howl. And spirits walk and ghosts break up their graves. That time best fits the work we have in hand. Madam, sit you and fear not. Whom we raise, we will make fast within a hallowed verge.
Okay. That's a lot. Great. Let's bring back a second.
I believe in you.
I think I got the first word of most of that. The rest of it, we'll just see how it works. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
I am not, but let's give it a go. Deep night, dark night, nose of silent night. The time is now. The time was spooky. And the dogs howl. The bats. I'm not going to lie. This is going terribly.
You're doing great. I'm entertained.
Walking. Hacking. Sit lady. The end.
All right.
I learn by reading things. I don't learn audibly.
I learned a lot.
I believe so. I will help with the hand gestures in case it helps you at all, Alectrona.
Let's play charades as well. We can add that to the mix.
Good luck with that one. I gave you a lot to work with.
But here, I will work with what I was given, which is very fun.
Come to our Selene.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Who's getting a burn on?
Brain exercises, some brain curls. All right.
Ow.
The mood has to settle. Deep night, dark night. The owls sing at night. So spooky is the time to run away, to walk away from the monsters. Now.
Perfect.
That was perfection.
Sorry, what play is this?
This is Henry VI, Part 2, Act 1, Scene 4, where Bolingbroke has a bunch of fancy people, and they are getting together to do spooky chants and rituals to summon a spirit to ask who's going to live.
Oh, yes, okay. This moment, sure.
It's very spooky.
Okay.
All right,
okay.
So here's the original. Well, first you're going to go. And then
No. So, setting the mood. Deep night, dark night. The owls are in the trees. And the people are afraid of these. Now is the spooky time of night for people to march and take their plight and walk off a cliff right now. Oh no!
Genius.
Oh, that was it was beautiful.
I'm so curious to hear this.
Yes, me too.
I can't wait to hear it again.
Anyway. Here we go. Here is Bolingbroke's full speech. Patience, good lady. Wizards know their times. Deep night, dark night, the silent of the night. The time of night when Troy was set on fire. The time when screech owls cry and bandogs howl, and spirits walk, and ghosts break up their graves. That time best fits the work we have in hand. Madam, sit you and fear not. Whom we raise, we will make fast within a hallowed verge. Spooky. The stage directions are really what kills it here. Then it says, here they do ceremonies belonging and make the circle. They read Condrote, etc. It thunders and lightens terribly. Then the spirit riseth.
I remember reading these exact stage directions, and the fact that it's just they read Condrote, etc. But when you actually use the internet, because I've seen this script before, and I was like, what am I supposed to do there? The vaguest stage direction. I don't know the full text of Condrote, and taking to the internet saying, what is the full text of Condrote? The internet can't help you with that. It's just like the most amazing lack of text in a script I've ever witnessed, where they're like, yeah, they do this. And you're like, why wouldn't you just write that then?
This is how you end up with scripts that have jokes in them that nobody knows where the joke came from. So you don't know why it's funny, but it was apparently very funny at one point. And I assume that is one of these things, that everybody just knew what that meant.
Condrote.
But, but I just liked this one because it was lots of like spooky imagery and fire and owls.
Perfect for Halloween.
It is very.
I always just love the beginning of this, of that they're like, come on, get on with it. And then he just comes out and says, patience, good lady, wizards know their times. That just always strikes me as so funny. Of like, oh, this wizard knows it's 6 o'clock. Now the wizard knows it's 12 o'clock. And it's a very simple thing that always makes me giggle. Wizards know their times.
Gandalf the Grey, good job. It's your dorky friend that bought his own wizard hat. Like, thanks, I can't wait to summon some spirits. Woo. This is totally going to work.
So true, though, if one was to do this in, 12 o'clock noon, and I feel like the mysticism would be so lost. And I appreciate that the wizard's like, no, it needs to be the perfect vibe for a summoning.
Yeah, it needs to be dark.
And spooky, but perhaps misty.
Mm-hmm. Nighttime.
Yeah.
I think prime seance hours would be from at least 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. I wouldn't do it before or after that time.
Oh, so we're coming up on prime seance hours, at least Eastern Standard.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You've got to prep yourselves.
Oh, yes. The stream can end and we can all do our own.
Ooh.
Yes, everybody write your own version of Condrote and report back what words worked for you and if someone showed up, what they said. If that was your Uber Eats driver, please tell us, make sure that you tipped and then check if they put the silverware in there and stapled the bag. To be very careful about these things.
Condrote, taco platter.
Ooh.
Oh.
Rise, taco platter.
I do love that language of what is it? Ghosts break up their graves.
Mhm.
I love that. That's so like sparking out of the ground.
It's interesting.
I
When
love
I
it.
first heard it, I was thinking of ghosts coming back to their graves and from the outside breaking in, as opposed to from the inside breaking out. It wasn't until now when you said it, Selene, I was thinking, oh, like zombies. But I was thinking of them going back and being like, where am I?
I think that would make more sense. I think that's more ghostly behavior, where I'm thinking of zombie behavior, which is let me get out, versus I'm not at rest. Where is my body resting? Ah, found the grave.
I'm trying to break it. My ghost hands don't do anything. It just goes right through.
Maybe ghosts are just as afraid of people as people are of ghosts, and so they just don't like to be out after a certain hour. So
who's this weirdo in a wizard hat? Why is he talking to us? Go away. Ned's
Uber Eats driver? Oh my god.
I don't even like tacos.
Oh, I love that. Just what is that people usually say that about? Like a bug? Or there's some animal that people are usually like, they're more afraid of you than you are of it.
Spiders, rats,
Spiders,
Right.
a ghost.
a ghost. Interestingly enough, Halloween-themed animals. Spiders, rats.
Oh, true.
It is very true.
Big crawling things.
One big misunderstanding.
They're just as afraid. Period.
End of story.
Yeah, I do love the notion of a very friendly ghost and like something that would be maybe helpful in its haunting, of like help you with tidying up. I always like the idea of like, if I'm not really looking too good and I'm about to leave the house, a friendly ghost that would like float a mirror over to me or be like, check your teeth, or you look terrible.
Thank you, ghost. Appreciate it.
In my household, growing up, we had a ghost called Rodolfo, I think we called him, because we could hear him running through the house. And so we'd say, who was running last night? And everyone said, no one, I was asleep. But we were sure that someone was running. It was Rodolfo, very kind, never bothered us, just at night had happy feet.
As one does. Get your cardio in while you can.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Even after death.
Foolish cardio.
Even when you have no body, you don't need a body to work out.
Well, maybe Rodolfo was just, checking the perimeter and making sure you were all safe.
It's very nice to think of, yes.
Very kind of Rodolfo.
It is very kind of Rodolfo.
Or lady, who knows?
Or Lady Rodolfo, who knows?
Who knows?
Who's to say?
And who knows if ghosts even have gender? They're ghosts. We don't know. That's a full study we'll have to do eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, I'd like to meet Rodolfo.
Mm.
We should invite him or her or them.
I will do
I think
that.
some of the vixens, I believe, know, but silly enough, in my youth, I was regularly accused of being a ghost because I grew up right next to a tomb where a family was buried, and a fellow schoolmate that I grew up with would only ever see me coming to or from school near this gravesite, and was like, well, that must be where she lives. And it was this whole misunderstanding where she believed every day I would wake up and emerge from this tomb and attend school and get my lessons and then head back to the grave and do my homework there and all of that. And it was such a strange accusation to receive. And the more that I tried to dispute it and prove that I was living flesh and not actually a ghost, the worse my case became, and the more she could just turn it on me and say, well, that's what a ghost would say. And of course, the ghost has this technology worked out. And I just had to age out of it.
If you were a ghost, you'd be a very studious one.
I was going to say, yes, good for you. Getting your education.
No matter when.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I approve.
Education is very important for our likely educational shows. As a ghost, why would I be spending my time electing to go to school basically every single day when I could be doing ghostly things?
Like helping people find food in their teeth before they leave.
That's very true.
Some ghosts feel like learning.
Mm-hmm.
Fair. That is fair.
I'm taking our time. I think if we wanted to do, if you had a short one, Alectrona, I think we could do one more, and then I think we'll be good for the evening.
I do.
While you find that, we have a comment saying you were a reverse vampire, Selene.
Oh, very true. You only come out at daytime.
I know.
You are busy.
Selene, the scholarly ghost, coming for Athena's gig.
Selene, the scholarly spirit.
Yes.
All right. I have the piece here ready.
Right.
So who would like to go first?
I will not. Based on previous
But
experience.
I have not yet gone first, so I shall go.
Amazing.
Right. And then I will go second.
And I will go last.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. It's just you and me. Are you ready?
I am ready.
All right. This is from Hamlet, Act 1, Scene 4.
All right.
It's a big scene where we are introduced to a strangely character. And it goes as follows. Angels and ministers of grace, defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned. Bring with thee airs from heaven or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable. Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee.
Oh dear.
How do you feel?
Terrible. I was trying so hard to remember that then I missed things. It's all right. I have a plan. It will be fine.
You're going to do great. You're a professional.
All right. Get out of here. Nice try. All right. Are you ready, Selene?
Ready as possible.
Angels of heaven or demons below, are you a spirit of good or a goblin of evil? Are you fairly shaped or weirdly oblong and strange? Are you... Why are you here bothering me today? What do you want? Weird, creepy thing. Spirit, oh mine.
Hamlet.
Sure is. You got that much at least.
Well done. Yes.
I don't
Act
feel
1,
so
Scene 4.
bad.
specific.
Oh dear.
Are you ready?
Let's bring her in.
I cannot get the hang of this order. Sorry.
Well,
I'm here now.
It's the very last moment, so get ready to throw it all away again. Okay. Angel of heaven or spirit below, are you an angel Or are you a goblin demon? Are you shaped like a human or strange and oblong? Are you basically good or bad? For whatever reason you come to me today, oh spirit of mine.
Good.
A monologue of dichotomies.
You did it so well.
Yes. You picked up a lot of what was given to you.
That is good.
Are you ready, Melinoe?
Yes. Angel of heaven or spirit below. Are you good or bad? Do you look like a human or do you look not like a human? Strange and oblong, I think, was the word specifically used. You're here in front of me. Why? Yeah.
Well done.
That's about all I got.
That's basically what I gave. So that's the gift you were given.
Also, that final bit is actually very much in the piece, which wasn't spoken, I think.
Oh.
You know where this is from? Melinoe? Can you guess? You don't know.
Okay. Question. Is there multiple spirits or one spirit? One. Hamlet?
Well done. I will read. Okay, ready?
Yes.
Angels and ministers of grace defend us. Be thou a spirit of health or goblin damned. Bring thee airs from heaven or blasts from hell. Be thy intents wicked or charitable. Thou comest in such a questionable shape that I will speak to thee.
It's an oblong.
I was going to say, where did strange and oblong come from?
That was entirely from me. I was like, I know there was a question about what the shape was, and I have lost completely what it was.
It needed a rewrite anyway.
Exactly.
That play is terribly overdone.
Is this Hamlet witnessing his father for the first time before he knows it's the ghost of his father?
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Hamlet does speak this piece. It is when he sees his father at the end of Act 1.
Ooh.
Spooky.
Very spooky.
Imagine seeing, someone you grew up with as a ghost.
Has that happened to you, Melinoe?
Pardon?
With all of your occult business, have you ever seen ghosts aside from our bedsheet friends?
Who were terrifying, which I think is partly why they were so terrifying, because my ghostly friends look very much like my regular people, but to see just sheets with holes in them, it's terrifying. And hot pink hats. I mean, what's more terrifying? Am I right or am I right?
Mm-hmm. You're right.
Yes. I
always think that if I actually saw a ghost, that I would have the terrible impulse of just hitting the deck and just losing consciousness so quickly and being like, oh no.
It's funny. That is a very on the spectrum of fight, flight, or fright. That is a very normal thing to do. That's what I do. Definitely.
Yes. You yell.
I yell and I drop.
I've never fainted.
You don't think you've ever
fainted in my life?
In your life?
Never.
Well, you've got to change that.
I was going to say,
you're out.
Add something to the bucket list.
I don't know if I've ever just fainted. I have definitely lost my footing and got the spinnies.
Right.
And sort of be like, and I've sort of gently placed myself on the ground, but I didn't just start upright and then wake up on the ground. That's never happened.
I've been lightheaded before, but I've never been like lights out. What just happened?
Well, I think we need something simply so romantic to occur to you that you get like weak in the knees. We'll give you that exciting kind and not something is medically wrong.
Or like terrifying.
Just take a good wallop in the face. That should do it. Right here. They call it the button.
Yes. Right.
Well, darlings, I think we're about at that time. So just to wrap up, thank you all so much for joining us for Quadralogue tonight. Yes. Lovely. I very much enjoyed all of them. If you would like to see the Vixens in person, we will be at the Maryland Renaissance Festival this coming weekend. Although it does appear that perhaps tickets may be sold out. I know some people do resell them on the Book of Face if they bought too many or they can't come. So it doesn't mean it's impossible for you to be able to get there. We hope we will see some of you then. And beyond that, we'd just like to send a special shout out to all of our folks on Patreon. If you would like to join Patreon, you can search Vixens on Guard on Patreon. You can join us at any of the tiers and you get special secret behind the scenes rewards. Depending on the level of tier, you can also get merchandise. You get special photos about what's going on. And just information about where we will be, water bottles, for example. We also have keychains and T-shirts and that sort of thing. You can also purchase this merchandise directly from our website. But hopefully we will see some of you in performance this coming weekend. That will be myself, Selene, and Melinoe. But it was so lovely to get to see you as well, Alectrona. It's been forever.
I know.
I know. Everyone is so busy. It's madness, I say.
Far away. I'm so far away from everyone. It's really hard.
All the time.
Well, you're having your own big adventure.
It's true. A very big adventure.
Yes. I feel like we all are. We're all going from different places here and there. Maryland, Capital District.
All over.
Everywhere.
And our next stream, I believe, is it 2 weeks from this week or next week?
It's next week.
It's just next week. All right. I need to write that in my own calendar. But anyway, a selection of Vixens will be playing D&D. And so that is very exciting. So that is the Vixen version of D&D. So they will be live streaming their game. They have no idea what the story will be until they get there. But you will be playing as your character, as your Vixen character, as translated into D&D rules. So if you're interested in that, you can catch that stream coming up. I'm sure all of the announcements of that will be going out on social media shortly, so you can get better information than what I have to give you. But in any case, I'm Hippolyta.
I'm Melinoe.
I'm Alectrona.
And I'm Selene.
And we are Vixens on Guard.
Good morning.
Have a wonderful night, everyone.
Bye. So lovely to see you.
Farewell.